Hey guys, we're going to be going over every detail in the Vidoc today, as well as Bungie's Year 2 DLC stream. Now this is a complete breakdown, so I'm going to be covering every little detail that we picked from it. I'm going to be breaking this up into DLC, as well as the places in the DLC, enemy types, new weapon system, the weapons themselves from exotics to legendaries, random rolls, as well as the improved mod system, the new weapon type that's coming, armor perks, subclass changes, which is a lot of them, a rework to the Masterwork system, the new mode Gambit, as well as the raid, the collection tabs and triumph tabs, as well as an awoken airstrike. First on the list, guys, let's talk about the DLC. So the DLC will be called The Forsaken, and the story seems to revolve around Cade's prison break, and it looks to be some bad mammy jammies that have broken out, and it's your job to find them and capture them, or kill them. I don't know, one or the other. The places that we see, guys, one of them is the Tangled Shore, which is a collection of rocks and asteroids and lots of fallen. Another location will also be the Dreaming City, which is supposed to be super dynamic, that changes weekly depending on the guardians that have done things in that area. On the Tangled Shore will be different variations of fallen, but the ones that seem to be the most powerful is called the Scorn. Now amongst the Scorn will be bosses called Barons, which seems to be the bad mammy jammies that Cade wants us to specifically go after. There also seems to be individual boss fights that range from sniper fights to up close melee fights. The new weapon system, guys, now features the option to go back to the old D1 weapon system. That's right, boys. You want to throw a sniper rifle or a shotgun in that energy slot, go right ahead. Then they up the ante some more. It also features the option to equip a kinetic power weapon as well. Bungie actually stated that you can actually rock 3 shotguns now if you wanted to. Now I know that sounds really crazy, but again, I still don't know about the ammo changes. As in, are we looking at kinetic ammo to still feed that kinetic shotgun, or will it still require power ammo? The kinetic shotgun, though, that we did see seems to be a regular normal looking shotgun, so it is possible that kinetic ammo is what feeds into this shotty, as well as other kinetic power weapons that we'll be seeing. This now takes us to the weapons themselves that we saw in the Vidoc. Guys, we're going to be looking at an exotic rocket launcher called Twin Rabbit. Now intrinsically, guys, it shoots 2 tracking rockets, 1 void and 1 solar. The trait on it also says that the void rocket will suppress, while the solar rocket causes damage over time. We also saw a little bit of gameplay of how those rockets work. Ace of Spades is also riddled all over the Vidoc, as well as the cover art for the Forsaken, so be looking to see a return of Ace of Spades. We also see a kinetic auto rifle that bears resemblance to Vigilance Wing, or at least it looks like Vigilance Wing, but an auto rifle version of it. Now the most interesting thing to me was when we got to see a hunter wielding a thorn-like looking weapon, but it seems to have a taken aura around it, as well as a taken explosion on shot. It could be Thorn with a taken spin on it, rewarded from Gambit maybe. We also got to see a sword that throws projectiles, a legendary hand cannon that's 110 round per minute called Thin Line, which has a trait of moving target, a legendary kinetic auto rifle, which is a 600 round per minute auto called Ether Doctor with dynamic sway, legendary energy slot sniper, 140 round per minute called Twilight Oath with box breathing, which is the same trait that also exists on the Ikelos sniper, a legendary kinetic shotgun called Trackless Waste with threat detector as its trait. So we got to see actual power weapons in the kinetic and energy slots, and they look to be very similar in both RPMs and impact to what we've seen in the power slot itself. So let's talk random rolls and the improved mod system. So they said that they were bringing back random rolls, but we actually got to see it. So they feature a legendary kinetic auto rifle, which is a 450 round per minute called Hazard of the Cast. Its trait was Ambitious Assassin. We also get to see the same exact weapon, still 450 round per minute, but with Zim Moments instead. Looks to be traits and stats that are random, but RPM is still the same though. The stat changes themselves in terms of difference between handling, range, and stability could just be related though to a scope or barrel perk change. We also got confirmation that mods are going to allow us to change these things out. Now whether it's just going to be a change out of traits, or if we're going to be able to change everything out about the weapon, I don't know yet. Either way it goes, anything is better than the mod system that we currently have. We're also going to be getting a new weapon type, which are bows. Yeah, that's right. We're going to actually be able to play with bows in this game, and I'm completely sold on it. I love bows, man. Horizon Zero Dawn, Elder Scrolls games, I used the hell out of bows in the past, and a lot of different other games I've played. Now, from what we see, it was equipped in the energy slot. I'm assuming though there's going to be multiple bows that will range between our power, energy, and kinetic slots. There will be 3 types of bows though that will be separated by its range capabilities. One for short range, one for mid range, and one for long range. We also got to see a clip of a bow in action, and it seemed to have a wrist runner and a ricochet round effect when it bounced off a wall and hit a fallen. It didn't just bounce off like a normal ricochet round, but had that lightning effect where it bounced off. We also see a guardian getting body shot by this bow and die instantly. It could be a heavy slot bow, or maybe all bows are just super op. Either way it goes, I'm down. Armor perks, guys. We got to see a warlock bond with 2 different types of perks. The first perk reads, while in the Dreaming City, you deal more damage to all targets. The second perk reads though, while in the Dreaming City, you take more damage from all sources. So a perk that definitely helps you, and a perk that definitely also hurts you. Now, whether or not we're going to see armor perks like this all over our different armor pieces, I'm not sure. But at least with the Warlock bond there will be armor perks returning to our regular armor pieces. Alright boys, erections out. Subclass changes are in full effect this September, and there's a lot of them, man. We saw Stormcaller devour his grenade to then gain an Arc Soul buddy, a Arching Death from above for a Striker Titan, and also a Slam that didn't embody him in the Striker animation, which could be another take on Shoulder Charge. I'm going to go ahead and start calling this Death Charge. Fire Knives for Gunslinger, which seem to be thrown at enemies, and it looks to be about 4 to 5 knives at a time. A Giant Hammer for Sunbreaker Titans. Oh my god, brings me to tears, man. I'm so glad we're getting a big-ass hammer, which allows us to have an AoE blast that will then turn into a Fire Tornado. Oh my god. Arc Strider will now be able to absorb and reflect damage with the twirl of its lance. Voidwalkers now seem to have a Stormcaller-like animation, but it seems to have controllable blink animation that allows you to zip around enemies. It also features a void explosion from the body, similar to Landfall, but looks to have a much bigger blast radius. Stormcallers can now shoot a beam of lightning that'll probably make it a contender in PvE for DPS on bosses, and I quote, "It's gonna break the game," is what a Bungie dev said. Sentinel might actually have weapons of light as well. We see the sword of a Dawnblade get much larger and turn the color red. The animation could be something else, but I felt that this was adding weapons of light. Night Stalker can now cast Shadow Mark, which seems to be a void twist as a Pugilist, which allows you to one-punch everyone while in your super. No lie, I don't care for Night Stalkers, but this will probably get me to play Night Stalker in PvP. Now we're getting a rework to the Masterwork system, which is probably more likely going to be related to our legendary Masterwork, since exotic catalysts seem to be in a good spot. Now let's talk about the new game mode, Gambit. Oh man. This looks amazing. It is a brand new game mode featuring a 4v4 in a PvE PvP arena. Upon killing ads though, motes will be dropped that can be cashed into a bank. After cashing enough, you will be able to send a blocker to the other side, which will lock the opposing team's bank down and will remain locked until they finally kill that blocker. After filling up your own bank, however, guys, you're able to summon your primeval and you can then slay it. But the coolest element to Gambit is allowing one of your teammates to invade the opposing team for 25 seconds. He is then allowed to slay out in whatever capacity though, guys. You can bring supers, you can bring power ammo, it doesn't matter. Now, I don't know if you go back to your team if you die or whatever the situation is with that. I'm assuming you do. But whatever the case, the intermix here is amazing. And the whole concept of invasion there just brings me back to like Dark Souls. Okay, let's talk about the raid, man. Raid will boast more bosses, they say, than any other, and supposed to feature more boss fights. So more bosses, of course, mean more boss fights. Doesn't sound like it's going to be as mechanical is what I'm saying, guys. The raid also will tie directly into the new area called the Dreaming City. Now, this is the Awoken Homeland. Now, again, we mentioned that the Dreaming City will be dynamic. It will change weekly or maybe bi-weekly, depending on the Guardians that have done things in that area. I'm assuming that this is also going to be similar to how Vault of Glass and Venus was, meaning you'll have the actual explorable area called the Dreaming City and you'll access the raid right there like we used to access the raid on Venus in Vault of Glass. We're also getting a collections tab and a triumph tab. The tab looks to be like our old kiosk combined with Age of Triumph. This will keep track of all the items you have found in the game and all the achievements you have unlocked and the ones you haven't. You will also be able to receive titles from these achievements that you can attach to your name. Hopefully I'll get something that says big ass hammer. Now the last thing, guys, I saw a ship blowing up Fallen at the Tangle Shore. Now this could just be part of the storyline. It could just be part of, you know, the current battles that are taking place right there on the Tangle Shore. In my heart of hearts, I want to believe that we just called in an airstrike as a guardian and the Awoken came and rained hellfire down on these Fallen. But again, that is more or less speculation, but who knows? I'm still holding out on the day that we're going to have dogfights in space on the same level as Halo Reach, but either way it goes, everything in this Vidoc, man, everything that I've seen so far has got me on a Taken King level of hype, and probably more than that. I saw a lot of complaints because I streamed this earlier today on YouTube, and a lot of people were upset with Destiny still. Listen to me. I know the launch of D2 could have been a lot better. Believe me, my numbers show it. But like you, I didn't stick around, waking up, checking these live streams out, because I want to watch this game franchise burn and die. I'm excited about this game, and I'm proud to finally be able to tell you all that I feel like D2 has turned itself around, man. I think this DLC is going to be the best thing we could have ever imagined, and I think Bungie's got a fire that's been lit under their asses, and they want to show us all that they got what it takes to be the studio we've always known them to be. Yes, this DLC will cost you money. I highly doubt it was free, but it's definitely money that I'm willing to drop. Guys, that's my thoughts on it, man, as well as my breakdown of the Vidoc and stream today. If there's anything that I miss, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Guys, y'all been great today, man. Much love to all of you. Thank you so much for coming out for the live stream, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.